Chapter 13 Paramam Vichitram Leela Vibhutim The Miraculous Vibhuti. Vibhuti. What I materialize is a manifestation of divinity with a potent significance as well as symbolization. It is symbolic of the cosmic immortal and infinite nature of all forms of God. Atma, or the spirit, is what is left when everything worldly and transient has burnt away. In first place, it is symbolic of the life-death cycle in which everything ultimately reduces itself as ash. For dust thou art, and unto dust shall thou returnest. Ash or dust is the final condition. It can undergo no further change. In the spiritual context, it constitutes a warning to the recipient to give up desires, burn all passions, attachments, and temptation in the fires of worship, which makes one pure in thought, word, and deed. It is a symbol of divinity. Baba. Vibhuti cancels cancer. Once an advocate arrived at Prashanti Nilayam. He was a chronic smoker. Cancer afflicted his throat. Doctors advised surgery along with radiation and chemotherapy. He desired to obtain Swami's permission before the commencement of the treatment. On arrival, the ever merciful Bhagavan invited him into the interview room. Asking him to hold his palms together to form a bowl, he materialized and poured a large quantity of vibhuti into them and asked him to eat it all. It was dark in color and tasted like bitter gourd. Swami affectionately cajoled and persuaded and helped him to finish it. After the interview, the man walked out and went into the canteen for a cup of coffee. As he was at it, his eyes fell on nearby pakodas, a savory dish crisply fried in oil. Unable to resist, he ate a plateful. Due to pain in his throat, he had not been able to eat properly for a long time, despite his keen desire and strong taste for food. But now he noticed that he could eat comfortably and relish it. He was surprised. With his fingers, he probed inside his mouth at the cancer affected spot. He felt no pain at all. He realized that the cancer had gone. He was overwhelmed. Tears flooded his eyes as he remembered Bhagavan's mercy. When on the next day Swami called him again into the interview room, he expressed his gratitude to Swami and fell on his feet. He told Swami that he was proficient in Sindhi and begged to be permitted to translate and publish the Sindhi edition of Sanadana Sarati. Swami replied, "It is only for the purpose that I have made you come to Puttaparthi." From then on, the blessed person has been translating and publishing Sanatana Saradi in Sindhi. Donopolo, tribal leader, surrenders to him. Before its reconstitution, the region now called Arunachal Pradesh was formerly a part of Assam. Most of its people are tribals. They were demanding a separate state for themselves and were carrying on guerrilla warfare against the government of Assam. The government made every effort to please them and win them over. It spent crores of rupees in their territory on development programs, hospitals, roads, schools, and other facilities. Still, the tribals were not satisfied and continued with their separatist demand. In this situation, one of the tribal leaders fell ill with an undiagnosed disease. The government gave him plenty of medical assistance. It got medical tests carried out in reputable hospitals in Calcutta and New Delhi. Nothing helped. He was not able to eat anything at all. Whatever he used to eat, he would vomit it. His friends and relatives lost all hope. Sri Raja, Home Secretary in the state, had an idea that if the patient could be taken to the divine presence of Bhagavan Sai Baba, it might help. Permission was sought from the government of India. Ultimately, a group of 29 persons, including the ailing tribal leader, set out in the name of All India Tour, Bharat Darshan, and reached Puttaparthi. As they seated themselves in the audience hall, Swami went to them directly and asked in Hindi, "Where are you from?" The secretary replied that they were from Assam. Swami said in English, "Go inside." So they all trooped into the interview room, walking no doubt but almost like running in their delight and eagerness. After the public audience was over, Swami came into the interview room. He materialized Vibhuti, gave it to the tribal leader, and directed him to eat. He sat on his throne and inquired, "What brings you here?" The secretary explained, "We have come for your darshan. This tribal leader is having some stomach trouble. No treatment has helped. Medical tests conducted in Calcutta and Delhi failed to identify the disease. He is unable to contain any solid food. As a result, tribal people of that region have lost faith in our medical system and procedures and hospitals. This man is a prominent tribal leader, and only you can heal him." Swami assured him, "Don't worry, he will be fully cured." Then Swami began to talk to the tribal visitors in their own language. He talked of their village and their environment. He mentioned how the villagers had thought of building a temple for the sun god and the moon god. As he talked, Swami materialized an intricately engraved circular copper plate 9 inches in diameter. On one side, the sun, and on the other, the moon were carved. He drew their attention to the delicate craftsmanship of the plate and declared that the temple proposed to be built would become known as Donopolo, meaning the sun and the moon in their tribal language. He directed the astonished tribals to install this copper plate yantra in the temple and to worship it regularly. He said that worship of God is always beneficial. He blessed them with Vibhuti Prasadam and the privilege of touching his lotus feet. The tribals took leave of him with hearts overflowing with joy and happiness. They then made their way to the canteen for refreshments. Their leader saw some white circular piece of food and asked that they be served to him. The pieces are known as idli, a rice and black gram preparation. His companions were afraid that the solid food might cause vomiting or terrible stomachache as usual. However, since Swami had granted him divine assurance, they hesitatingly allowed him to consume idli. A plate of idlis and the accompanying sauce was finished by him in seconds. Relishing it, he consumed another plate. While his companions watched in unbelieving astonishment, this man, who had not tasted any solid food for several years, ate idli after idli, a good 32 of them. The group felt it was miraculous and enjoyed every bit of it. The leader told his friends, "This is no ordinary man. With a little vibhuti, he has completely cured me within minutes of a disease I had suffered for years and years. There is no doubt that he is God incarnate." He talked of the temple Donopolo we are planning to build for our favorite deities and created the two images. Let us surrender to him and strictly follow every word of what he said. Bhagavan Sai's divine vibhuti healed the tribal leader in moments. When we hear about this magnificent episode and Bhagavan's love and benevolence so readily and profusely showered, we are moved to bow our head in obeisance to him. Wondrous potency of Vibhuti. Vibhuti, the speciality of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, not only bestows good health but in a wonderful manner fulfill other needs also. Patterson was a very successful businessman of Canada. He travels all over the world in connection with his business. On one of such travels, he came to India and met Dr. Balakrishna, son of Professor Bhagavantam. Dr. Balakrishna invited him to his home. The residence was decorated like a temple. In the middle of the puja dais, there was a throne on which a beautiful photograph of Swami was placed. Patterson was quite impressed and inquired whose picture it was. Dr. Balakrishna told him about Baba and his divine powers, his love and compassion, and how he incarnated in answer to the prayers of devout and saintly persons of eminence for bringing about the deliverance of humanity. As Patterson heard about Baba, his interest grew. He also felt very pleased. He asked Dr. Balakrishna for something like a memento or token so that it would serve to remind him constantly about Sri Satya Sai Baba. He probably expected a photograph or picture of Swami, but Dr. Balakrishna thought of something more precious. He felt that the best memento of Swami would be Baba's vibhuti, so he gave Patterson a small packet of it. Patterson felt somewhat dismayed and asked, "Ashes? Do you give me ashes? to remind me of this great yogi? Balakrishna gently explained, "These are no ordinary ashes. It is divine vibhuti. It is priceless, invaluable. If you get into some serious trouble and you think that Swami's compassion alone can save you, put a little of it in your mouth and pray to him." Patterson returned by air to New York via London. He was given a seat among women and children. They were making terrible disturbance and noise, and he felt unduly disturbed and very uncomfortable. As the aircraft was nearing London, he suddenly remembered the packet of Vibhuti and Dr. Balakrishna's description of its virtues. He immediately opened the packet, placed a little of the holy powder on his tongue, and earnestly prayed to Sri Sathya Sai. He asked Baba to see that he is provided a more comfortable seat, at least on his onward journey from London to New York. When he landed in London, he was surprised to hear his name on the public announcement system. The announcement mentioned him by name and directed him to go to the airline office immediately. When he reached there, he was told that he was allotted a seat in the first class on the London to New York flight. He was immensely pleased and offered to pay the extra charges. The officers on duty told him, to utter surprise, that the additional fare had already been paid on his behalf. Patterson's heart leaped. Just be consuming a little of Baba's vibhuti and remembering the name of Baba. He could get Baba's helping hand thousands of miles away and have his wish fulfilled. He was moved by Baba's mercy and love. How wondrous is the potency of Baba's Vibhuti! It is not only the holiest one, but also it cures any ailment, however chronic it is, and it has the potency to fulfill any desire of the ardent devotee. What a miraculous one! Let's daily use it with love and devotion. Paramam pavitram Baba Vibhutim, Paramam Vichitram Leela Vibhutim, Paramartha Ishtartha Moksha Pradatam, Baba Vibhutim Itam Ashrayami. Our humblest homage to the embodiment of love and compassion. Om Shri Satya Sai Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. End of chapter 13. Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe Satya Devaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat.